Maybe in Another Life, by Mr. Moon. They first met in the dusk, when the world was neither day nor night, and every breath seemed to tremble with possibility. She wandered into the wildflower meadow without quite knowing why, drawn by a humming in her chest she couldn't name. He followed a sliver of moonlight fallen between the grasses, as if it were a path meant only for him. Above them, 2 white butterflies danced, tracing lazy figure eights in the golden air. She glanced up and whispered, "Maybe in another life?" He caught the question like a confession and, without thinking, answered, "Yeah." In that instant, the world shifted. It was as though every star bore witness to their meeting, and every petal, every blade of grass, had conspired to bring them here. First, the meeting. She was Mira, though he wouldn't learn her name for hours. She carried the hush of distant laughter and the ache of secrets never told. Her eyes held storm clouds, dark with longing, bright with wonder. He was Elias, though she wouldn't learn his name for days. He carried the weight of unspoken hopes and the kindness of morning light. His silence felt like promise. They stood a pace apart, neither moved, as though fear rooted them in place. Finally, she knelt among the buttercups and daisies, and the butterflies alighted on her outstretched fingers. He found the courage to reply to her unasked question. "In another life, I'd have met you sooner." She looked up, heart hammering. "Do you believe in other lives?" she asked, voice barely more than the rustle of wings. He nodded gently. "I believe some souls outgrow a single lifetime. Second the flight." Over the next hours they spoke in half-formed sentences, laughing at their own awkwardness. They wove stories and dreamscapes where they chased moonbeams down endless corridors, of childhood butterflies caught and released, each one a promise of change, and of heartbreaks they carried like stones in their pockets. At one point, Mira closed her eyes and murmured, "If I could wish on every butterfly, I'd wish to stay here with you." Elias brushed a stray hair from her forehead. "And I would chase every moonbeam to keep you near." They walked through the meadow until midnight, fingers brushing, breath sinking. At last, reality crept back, the meadow's edge where their homes lay in different directions. He offered his coat. She shook her head. "I'm not cold," she said, but her shoulders trembled. He let it lie. "Then don't go," he whispered. "Stay until the butterflies vanish." She leaned into him, and they stood beneath the vast sky, 2 souls tethered by a question no lifetime could answer. Third, the separation. Morning light was unkind. It revealed obligations, jobs, families, lives already claimed. They exchanged phone numbers, but new words on paper couldn't hold what their hearts had found. At the meadow's gate, Mira whispered, "Maybe in another life." Elias knelt and kissed her palm. "Yeah." One gentle touch. Then she turned and walked away. He watched until her figure became a memory, and the butterflies lifted once more, trailing white silhouettes behind them. He didn't move for a long time. When he finally turned, it was with a solemn vow, "I will find you again. In this life or the next." Fourth, the echo. Days turned to weeks. They tried to fill the empty spaces with routine, coffee with friends, late-night movies, familiar streets. But every mirror, every song, every breeze carried her whisper. Mira traced his number in her journal with a trembling finger. She opened her mouth to call him, but the words tasted like grief. She closed the book and wept, quietly, for the life that had slipped through her hands. Elias sat under a street lamp and wrote her name in the condensation on his window, over and over until the glass ran clear. Then he pressed his forehead to the cool pane and asked the night sky, why must the brightest souls drift apart? Above him, the first star blinked into view, and for a single heartbeat, it seemed to pulse with understanding. Fifth, the return. Seasons changed. The meadow lost its butterflies, its wildflowers bowed, and snow blanketed the world in white. Yet in that hush of winter, they found each other again, by accident, in a crowded train station, 2 shadows reaching in the wrong direction until their hands found each other. She gasped, "It's you!" He smiled, tears glinting. "I knew I'd find you." No butterflies this time, just the fragile beating of 2 hearts. They escaped the station and ran back to the meadow, old coats rattling, laughter echoing like prayer. At the gate, Mira turned to Elias. "I thought this was just a dream." He cupped her cheek. "Dreams are just souls remembering." Above them, 2 butterflies, miracles in winter, fluttered down, landing on his outstretched palm. 6th, the promise. Under the first spring moon, Mira and Elias lay in the grass once more. The butterflies rested at their sides. He took her hand. She rested her head on his chest. "Do you still believe in another life?" she asked, voice soft as dawn. He pressed a kiss to her hair. "I believe in this one now." They whispered their untranslatable feeling, the one that makes your chest ache and your spirit soar. It wasn't love. It was the soundless burst that lives deep inside. Ah, a single sacred word that held joy and sorrow, hope and desperation, and a promise they would never say goodbye again. Epilogue. Years later, when the butterflies no longer came, they built a swing beneath the oak at the meadow's heart. Their children, tiny souls with Mira's laughter and Elias's quiet eyes, would chase fireflies and ask, "Why do these wings glow?" Mira and Elias would only smile and whisper to each other, "Maybe in another life?" Yeah. Their children would giggle, unaware that their parents had already answered, right here, in this life.